Fume board, pushing them out. Egrets, the other white meat.
Yeah.
It's what's for dinner. What's going on, bee herders? A lot of folks have asked us how we harvest our honey. So we're back over on the watermelon patch here south of town today and pulling about, I don't know, 30 supers from here and going to work our way back through our other bee yards. But we thought we'd take that opportunity to kind of show you how we harvest our honey and some different methods that we've used over time and over the years as we scaled up, from fume boards to escape boards to a leaf blower to just smoke with a brush. We'll talk a little bit about each one as we go through this video. Hopefully you'll learn something and be able to use it and maybe give us some pointers on how we can do things better. Stick around. We're going to start out with a fume board, and for those of you who've never used a fume board, it's basically a modified lid lined with felt with a very thin, typically black metal top. Sometimes there's like a little solar reflecting material, but you just place this on top of the hive after applying this. So this is Honey Bandit. We've used Honey Bandit, Honey Bee Gone, Honey Robber, Honey Bun, you name it. We'll just apply it to this felt, set it on, and let it force the bees down. This is the same repellent we use when we do removals to treat with afterwards. Key thing to remember when you're using a fume board though is if you leave it on too long, you could almost force the bees to abscond. So you don't want to get too crazy with how long you leave it on. But the good thing about it is, and this is what most your large scale commercial guys are going to use, there's no additional lifting of the boxes. All I do is pop the top, put this on, and let it drive the bees out, and then pull off the supers. Gotta force those supers, or force those bees down out of those supers somehow. And this is about the easiest way. All right, so I'm just gonna put a little of this Honey Bandit right in the middle, a little bit in each corner. You don't have to go with too terribly much of it, and then we'll step up as necessary as we go. I've got 4 supers stacked on this hive here. I've already applied a little bit of smoke. I'm just going to set this down and give it a few minutes. We're kind of isolated. This is the in this area here, this is the only hive we're going to pull honey off of. But as we move down the line here, I'll have 4 fume boards all set at the same time, forcing these bees down and out. You can kind of see what we're dealing with here. And they're humming, they're coming out of there. Here's a fume board in action. You can see it's just driving the bees out. All right, Mike, go ahead and pull that board. 99.9% of the bees cleared out of there, out of that super now. So fume boards are getting her done. All right, folks, we're back over on our river bee yard today. We're just maybe a couple of 100 yards off of the Choctawhatchee River down here in southeast Alabama. Ton of popcorn trees in this area, ton of privet. I think there's maybe a little bit of tupelo, black gum trees dispersed out there. Not enough to call it a tupelo crop, but we're still continuing using a fume board today. We'll get you a little bit more video of the fume board. And then as we move back over to our home bee yard, we'll get you some video of bee escape and the old school leaf blower method. Let's look in this hive right here and see what we're doing. We've already pulled 80 gallons off of these few hives here this year. Oh yeah, and we've got plenty of capped honey in this box here. Grab the smoker. Just put just a little smoke. Get them going the direction I want them to go. And then we'll apply. Again, this is Honey Bandit. It works pretty well. I think I prefer Honey Bee Gone more. But I couldn't get any Honey Bee Gone. And it's a little bit higher price than this stuff. This works okay. Again, with the fume board, best on a warm, sunny day. We've got a tropical depression moving in tomorrow, the day we're going to be spinning honey, so a little bit of cloud cover today. Christy will move that camera up close to the box. You can hear them go to roaring when you put that on there. We'll give it a few minutes. While that one's working, let's look at this one. Oh, good gravy. That's a box of bees there.
Might not be happy. Definitely not.
Just get them moving. Let's see what kind of movement we've got over here. See, we've not forced them down out of that box yet. They're probably out of the super. Yeah, so our super's clean. It's not quite as well capped as I had liked. Would like this one. Not that much honey in here. I don't know. It's probably 80% full. Get a couple of hangers on. This hive actually has an escape board placed under it. Skateboards work well. There are a few drawbacks though. The first being that you're going to have to plan ahead, and a couple of days before you plan on pulling your supers, come out, lift all of your honey supers, place your escape board where your queen excluder was, put all of your honey supers back on top of it, and then give them a couple of days to move down and through that escape board, which I'll show you in just a moment, and clear the supers. So that's the biggest drawback to escape boards. However, they do a fairly good job of clearing the supers. Another drawback is, as you clear these supers, if you leave this escape board in too long, we get these supers clear, that comb is unprotected, especially down here in the southeast. Now you're inviting small hive beetle and wax moths into the colony. If they can get in onto that unprotected comb, you could potentially be in trouble. So it takes a lot of planning to use escape boards, and it throws in another lifting of all your supers, which when you're lifting several hundred gets old. So that's why I prefer the fume board. All right, so let's see kind of how we've done. This one's only been on here about a day. So it's fairly clear, but not perfectly clear. Because remember, there are going to be house bees in here that kind of never go back down through that escape board. You can see there's a hole on the top side, and then some, and different boards have different configurations, form of maze that they can't figure out how to come back up through to get back up into that honey super. You can see this one still needed a little more time. You can still see there's a few bees still in there. So we're going to use the old school method. Get out these last few boards. Always do it from the bottom. And you can fold your frames over and pull that box. Oh, that one's not completely full, thankfully. All right, so we're going to leave what else is, there's still honey, pretty good amount of honey in this box here, but we're going to leave that for them. Okay, we back at our home bee yard now. I think we got about 30 supers to pull out here. We're all already just totally beat. It's been a crazy 2 days, and we won't start spinning honey till tomorrow. But I call this my Tower of Power colony. This is one of my prime production colonies. It's always been a strong one. We got 3 deeps above the queen excluder here. I can only imagine what we're gonna see here. They've done what I think they've done. This is, I don't know, 15 gallons of honey here, just off of this one hive. So. There's 80 pounds of honey. Still quite a few bees in there, so I'm going to hit this with the leaf blower. Like I said, I like that. I like the honey bee gone better than the honey bandit. We're moving quick. You give it long enough, it'll run them out. Just a little smoke here, get them moving towards the top of the box. And then this looks like it's rough on the bees, and I suppose it's a little rougher than other methods, but it does clear your supers. We're going to blow from the bottom with it balanced on the box below it, and you can kind of fan your frames like a deck of playing cards from the bottom here. That we blew out, go right back down in the entrance. You won't see many, if any, injured bees. All right, typically when you're pulling honey, you want it to be the vast majority capped on each frame, but it doesn't always work out that way. So there's a couple things you can do to kind of test if that honey is ready. I've seen the bees draw out a frame full of nectar, beautiful, super thick, and then never cap it. Well, that doesn't mean that it's not at a low enough water content that you could harvest it. The simplest thing to do is shake it. So this frame here, we can see, is not capped. But if I shake it, come on in here. If I shake it, you can see there's no droplets coming out. I'm even tapping it. There's no droplets coming out. So that honey is plenty dry enough to harvest. That being said, we've got so much coming off, I'm not going to pull that today. But typically I look for a frame to be at least 80% capped, and then I'll be happy with it. But I'm in no rush. We're going to pull probably close to 300 gallons here over what we've already pulled yesterday and today. And for a sideliner beekeeper like I am, that's a god-awful plenty to have to deal with, so there's no need to get in a big hurry. But don't get overly panicked about all your honey being absolutely capped. That's never going to happen. There's always going to be portions of the frames that aren't completely capped. And sometimes they never will cap. Still okay.
Running out.
Yep.
Like, get away from that stuff.
They're running out now.
Folks, we're exhausted. The 3 of us have managed in the last 2 days to pull a total of 73 boxes, 37 deeps and 33 mediums, and we've all come to the conclusion we're going to stop using deeps for honey supers. Or we're going to have to hire somebody a lot younger than we are to move them. But we're looking forward to it. Tomorrow we'll start spinning the stuff out. We'll finish it all out tomorrow. And we'll do another video on that, kind of show you some cool stuff. Uncapping honey with a heat gun. obviously using our Simple Harmony Farms uncappers, which we love. Our buddy Bruce Jenny from Bruce's Bees is going to be here to help out tomorrow. So it should be an exciting day.
We got some other friends coming.
Got plenty of other friends coming, longtime friends coming. They want to see what it's all about. Probably after tomorrow they will have seen all they ever want to see. I know I've seen all I ever want to see. We're anticipating somewhere around 200 gallons, maybe more, 230, something like that. So, until next time, keep on
Keeping on.
Keep it on.